Hey guys, welcome back to the Backyard Gardener. My name is Jay, and today I'm going to be showing you how to plant some apple trees. I'm going to be planting two different types. One variety is called the Gala apple. The second variety is called the Golden Delicious. Both excellent varieties, and I want to show you why fall is the best time. I'm going to go over some few things. Fall is literally the best conditions, and also I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. So it's easy enough so that you could do it in your own backyard. And who does not want to go in their own backyard and just go pick their own apples, some fresh, delicious apples. So let's go ahead, let's dive into it. Alrighty, let's go over the list of everything that we need for this job. So basically you can see the two apple trees. They're about 3 years old now. I haven't had them that long, but I kind of adopted them, and I have a nice bucket full of my fresh compost right there. A 5-gallon bucket of water. I got a rake, a shovel, and also some hardwood cloth. So that's basically all you're really going to need to do the job. I do also have like a measuring tape, you know. You might not need that. But anyway, let's go ahead, let's jump into it. The next step is to find out where we're going to plant it. So basically, I actually chose right here. And the reason why I chose right here, it doesn't look like it's sunny now because it's actually late in the day, but it does get a very good amount of sun all throughout the day except right now. But you see right now it's being blocked by this big tree right here. But all day long it gets a really good amount of sun. And what you need is about 6 or 8 hours of good sun. So I'm going to put it right there. The sun's going to be coming from my left, setting into the right. And right now we're almost going to hit sunset. So that's why, oh, look at that. They're helping me dig right where I'm going to dig. So yeah, I'm going to start digging the hole and we'll go from there. It's very easy to do this. So here we go, I'm back, and I kind of came across a little bit of a technical difficulty here because I am digging up, and it must be an old tree here. So, which actually is not the worst thing in the world because there'll probably be a lot of really good organic broken down material in here already. So I'm gonna still add some compost, but oh yeah, look at that. This is actually like what mycorrhizal fungi is like. If you notice, I'm gonna come a little closer to the camera here. If you notice right here, this is actually an old rotted out tree. And if you notice, I could break it apart with my hands. This is a piece of wood, and all the little funguses and stuff that's in there, that's actually what builds that mycorrhizal fungi, which is amazing for the soil. So you know the soil is nice and rich, and it actually smells really healthy. So I'm going to actually keep that because I'm going to put that back in the ground. Yeah, there must have been a tree here at one point. So that's actually pretty cool. Just as long as I could get all the roots out that are not in the way. But look at that whole thing moving. Oh yeah. This is like one big piece here. Look at that. You guys see that? Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, this must have been an old tree here. Oh, look at that. It's actually the bottom of the tree. A little bit of sand down here. Yeah, look at that. That's the actual tree itself. That is amazing. All right, so one tree's coming out and one tree's going back in. So I guess that's what it looks like when you cut a tree down and you bury it. So that's cool. I'm gonna actually break this apart and I'll put that back into the compost area. All right, right on. It looks kind of like a cedar tree or something. Not 100% though, but it's kind of got that reddish tone. So all right, let's keep moving on. Keep moving on. So it looks like it hit a little bit of sand down here, which is typical for the area I'm in. I am in the Jersey Shore area, so oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. It's like gray sand and a little bit of clay. So, I mean, this soil is really good. That's this actual topsoil is really good because it does have really good drainage. This gray is it is like beach sand. It's not clay. It is a little bit of clay, but I can see a little bit of clay farther down. So just, which makes a nice topic. That's judging on whatever type of soil you have. You know what your issue is going to be. If it's all clay, then you know you got to make sure it's definitely going to not get overwatered. And you want to make sure it's not in the area that water will settle like a puddle, because you don't want your roots to rot. In my case, I know there's some clay down here, but at the same time, these must be the old roots. But at the same time, I know there's enough regular soil in here that it will have enough drainage. So, imagine I found some gold bars down here. Oh yeah, now I'm hitting some regular, just plain old dirt. Huh, interesting. Kind of neat when you dig up in your backyard. It's stuff you find. As long as you don't find anything crazy, right? Too crazy. So I'm getting a nice hole here now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these trees out of their containers and put the container in the ground and see where I'm at as far as depth. Right now I can tell I'm not there yet. I'm going to keep digging. And then I'll measure the height. The width is good. It's very good. I actually make a little wider right here. All right, so here's something that a lot of new gardeners actually don't know. Fall is actually the best time of year to plant these fruit trees, even better than springtime, because the soil is still warm, but the air is cool. So naturally, the tree will shift its energy down into the root development. So that means that a stronger root growth with way less stress with the heat and everything of the summer. So what makes fall planting so powerful is that you're giving your tree a head start underground before winter, and then while the soil is basically everything goes dormant, the roots could still quietly expand for weeks underground, and it just really gives it a really good foundation. Helps the tree handle the summer heat, different things of drought, and transplant shock. It really takes care of that. So it's all right. So here's my hole. It's actually looking pretty deep. I don't know if you can really see it on camera. So I'm just going to back the camera up a little here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tree here and I'm going to take it out of the pot and put it in the pot and see where we're at. Look at that. Can lift it right out. And it looks like I'm actually in a good spot as far as depth. Let's actually see what it looks like with the tree. Yeah, I'm pretty much right there. So getting back to what we're talking about, this is the graft union right here. So you want to make sure that that's not buried. You want to make sure that this is the top of the soil. So I actually, I'm going to actually put a little bit of soil back in there just to bring this up a little bit, because I do not want this buried at all. I don't know if you guys can see it, but see how this looks like it's bulging here? Because that's the graft union where there's a root stock and the fruit stock. Put them together. So that's actually looking really good. And then one of the big things is just make sure when you plant your tree, you plant it straight, number one, and you kind of just look at the branches to kind of see which direction they're growing in, and just kind of make sure it's the way you want it before you actually go all the way with it. So, all right, I'm going to pull this back out. I'm going to just drop a little bit more soil back in there, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to loosen up some of the roots. So let's do that now. Okay, pull this back out. Nice and heavy. Let me go ahead and grab my shovel without falling into the hole. I got all my helpers here. Let me see if you can see them on the camera. Let's see. All my helpers here just give me a hand. All right, let me go back to this. Everybody always loves seeing the chickens. All right, you don't want to go in there. All right, so I got a little bit of dirt back in there. All right, this time I'm not going to put my shovel way over there. Okay, so this kind of an important part. I'm going to lay the tree down a little bit. And let me see if you can see that well in the camera. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hope you don't mind my little adjustments while you're watching. But let me see. Give me 1 second. Just need something to lean on so I don't get all muddy. All right, so basically with the roots, let me see. Let me make sure you can see that in the camera because I don't want you guys to miss this spot. Hold on. Let me just back up a hair. Okay. Let's see. Get this out of the way. So basically, this is the root ball itself. See how they're going into a circular motion? You don't want to put it into the ground where they're going to continue growing in a circle, because once that tree gets another year or two down the road, it's literally going to just strangle itself. And when that happens, it's not going to get any, first of all, it's not going to grow out and establish a good root system where it could hold a whole lot of fruit and withstand the wind. It's kind of like if you're standing balanced, like say you're playing football, you don't stand with your feet touching each other because someone's going to go over and push you over. You kind of spread your feet out and like flex a little bit so you're able to withstand someone trying to push you. Well, that's what the roots do too. You have different kinds of roots, you know? So what I'm going to do is just kind of go in here and just kind of break up that little pattern. You see this nice thick root here? You want this to go out a little bit, you know? You don't want it to be all tangled. I'm going to basically just go in there. Oh yeah, I can feel the bottom of the tree right there. And kind of just go in here and just loosen up these roots a little bit. So when they go into the ground, I'm going to spread them open a little bit. All right. Yeah, so sometimes you got to get a little rough with them. Grab them like and shake them. See how I'm doing that? And when you're doing this, you don't want to leave this out for too long, because roots aren't made to be in the light, in the atmosphere of the light. And, you know, you're better off doing this and getting it right back into the ground. Because roots just, you know, they're not made to see the light and be exposed to everything. They dry out and, you know, it's not good. Not good for the tree. You don't want to put it under stress, because come springtime, you want it to be, the roots to be settled into the ground. Like right now, planting this, right now, actually see this, how this looks? Looks like a bad hair day. That's better. And this, my roots are really wet, so I'm not, normally I would say this is a good time to soak them down, but they're actually nice and wet. Yeah, so here's a really bad hair day. So this actually might make the tree even shorter, so I might have to, yep, I'm gonna have to add some more soil back to bring this up. Let me make sure you can see that in the camera. You can, all right. This is the crucial part where everybody always, this is where people get nervous. And this is where you just gotta lock in right here to this part right here. All right, so my ground level is up here, but my union is down here. So I gotta bring it up a few inches. So I'm gonna pull this back out. This is just what you gotta do when you have a tree, that's all. You plant a tree, you just gotta good attention to detail. And put some of this in there. Okay, we're looking good here. Let's see what it looks like now. Ooh, that's good. So I'm gonna spread these out a little bit. Just make sure that these are spread good. Kind of massage this in there. It's funny, I just did a video not that long ago about mums, and I feel like I'm just doing a large mum. All right. So this part's very important to get right. So my tree is going to be nice and straight, and I actually like the way it is now because I just turned it. Oh, that's what I felt. It's like a bamboo stake. They must have used that early on. Anyway, I'm going to start backfilling it, and very key thing is when you backfill it, you want to use mostly native soil. Native soil is the soil I just dug out of this hole. Because if I put in a whole bunch of like really good soil that's like mushroom mulch, leaf mulch, and just fill it up with all compost, it's going to be so snuggly and happy right there. It's not even going to, the roots aren't going to travel anywhere to go search for more nutrients, because it's all going to be right here, right around the little area here. So long story short is you put mostly all the native soil back in there so it gets adaptive to the native soil, and you put a little bit of homemade compost, which I'm going to do too. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and get my shovel. Okay, excuse me, girls. I know you're excited about fresh dirt. All right. So I'm going to backfill this and then make sure it's nice and stable. And then I'm going to put in some compost. But this is the key part right here. This is the money part. You want to get this right. Okay, let me make sure you can see this in the camera. I need a camera person. Good, you can see it well. All right. So you get the rest of this in there. Actually, let me get my rake. It's funny, I feel like I have a whole bunch of students around me. All these little chickens. I gotta watch out for them so I don't step on them. All right, so I'm gonna actually add some compost real quick. I got mostly, I would say most of the soil that's in there now. So let me get this pushed down a little bit. Most of the soil that's in there now is the native soil. And what I'm going to do is, this is my compost right here. Can you see that? You can. All right. So this is basically, I'm going to show you how much I'm using for this size tree. I'm going to basically take a nice big shovelful and take another nice shovelful. Another one. And lastly, so basically I'm taking 4 good shovelfuls, and that's it. The rest of it's going to be the native soil. Let me go ahead and press this down a little bit around it. Making sure this is straight at all times, which it moved a little bit on me. So I'm making sure I straighten that back out again. All right, this is looking good. Excuse me, Bluebell. Trying to make a video here for everybody. I know you love the little bugs that are in the ground here. All right, this is going out. This is actually turning out really well. Here's something that a lot of people actually don't realize, that most apple trees can't produce fruit on their own, meaning they need a partner variety that blooms around the same time. And that's why planting 2 trees like the Gala and the Golden Delicious dramatically will increase your harvest, because one will use the other one to pollinate each other. And, you know, like I said, I have some local honeybees in the area, which I thank you, Michelle, for the great honey that you give us. Your bees are going to really like these apple trees. So the Golden Delicious will sprout around the same time, slightly later than the gala, but they'll be in the same time realm where that they will pollinate each other. So, fun fact. All right, guys, good news. We're on the home stretch. So, basically, what I'm doing is I'm gonna give it a little bit more water. I'll give it a little at a time, let it soak in. Then I'll come back and pour some more water, kind of like slowly. You don't want to just douse it and then have all the water just erode away, because it's not going to seep down into the roots where you want it to. And then after that, I'm going to put up some leaf mulch. I'll give you a closer shot. This is just basically leaves that I ran over with a lawnmower. And I kind of I don't throw away leaves. I use these from my yard. Preferably, I use them from like some of the larger trees because they're a little bit more nutrient rich. I mean, I'm not judgmental. I'll take any leaves and chop them up, but things like this, I'll use some of the from the larger trees because those roots really go down deep and they grab the nutrients from farther down, which is sometimes a little bit better. So anyway, I'm gonna put some mulch around the edges, and then after that, I'm going to put up some hardware cloth around it just to kind of protect it. So, and basically here, I'll give you a closer view. Basically the hardware cloth, it's basically just got a piece, I don't know, I'd say it's about 2 foot, and I'm gonna just wrap it like that. And I got some zip ties. I'm just gonna zip tie it together, and that's it. Very easy. All right, let me go ahead and do it. Alrighty, so the trees are planted, and the first thing I do is a deep watering. That's one of the most important steps because it settles the soil around the roots and also helps remove any of the air pockets that could build up in the soil. And also, that's part of anchoring the tree the right way the first time. And next, I'll be adding a light layer of some leaf mulch, which do two big things. It keeps the soil nice, consistently moist, and also protects the roots from freezing, in the winter, because it kind of keeps them warm. So also, I'll be putting this hardware cloth. I cut it about 2 foot length, and with some zip ties, I'm going to be using that around the base of the tree. So that's going to basically protect the trunk from any damage from any animals like rabbits, squirrels, or maybe even the dog. So, yep, take these steps are very important. It makes a huge difference when the trees wake up in the springtime. All right, so here we are. Both trees are settling into their new homes. They're heading into full dormancy. This time of year might look quiet, but don't let it fool you. Even though the leaves are dropping and the branches look really bare, the real work is happening underground, where the trees are shifting in their energy into the root system, which is very important. And that's exactly what we want going into winter. So over the next few weeks, the soil is going to stay pretty warm, even though the air is going to be freezing. So that gives the trees a perfect window to anchor themselves down before the heavy freeze comes. But by the time spring rolls around, they're going to be waking up stronger, pushing out new buds, and starting to build a nice structure to carry out fruit for years to come. So look at these buds. So if you're thinking about planting some fruit trees yourself, fall is honestly one of the easiest and most forgiving times to do it. Don't be discouraged by how bare they look. Dormancy is a sign of the trees are scheduled and doing exactly what nature called them to do. So thanks for hanging out with me, the Backyard Gardener, and hopefully make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and so we can keep growing together. And if you got any questions about tree planting, just drop them in the comments, and always be willing to help. And I'll see you on the next one. All right.